started off with 3 letters that clearly we don't know what they mean. So there is already some sense of ambiguity here in the Quran. And what that really, in essence, is trying to state in many different ways is demonstrating the might of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the first thing. There are a number of different statements regarding the Mufassirin, what they think, the reason why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did this. The other is that to understand the Quran, even though we need to do tadabbar and so forth, we need to ponder over the verses. We don't try to have an explanation or a rational understanding of meaning to every verse of the Quran. And this is a very important part of the Quran. That when we take on the Quran, our reasoning and rationality assists us and supports us in understanding the Quran. But we don't start questioning the verses of the Quran, rather we just take them on board because this is the kalam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Just solely on that basis. So it begins in this way. Then it begins with another level of ambiguity. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. So then it says ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ. And those of you who understand some Arabic, this is ismul isharatul ba'id, which basically means that if you were to take the literal meaning here, it means that kitab. Though when you look at the translation, it says this kitab. And the reason why that is, again, the Mufassir will explain the differences in that. So you can already see how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is already making us think, for those of us who understand the Quran, about you think you're going to have ease in understanding the Quran, even though the Quran is something that is easy to understand. But already we're recognizing this concept which the ulama have explained, what we call the muhkamat and the mutashabihat. Muhkamat, there are very clear concepts in the Quran, which in essence they become our sense of our aqidah. They become the very clear things of the Quran. Then there are what we call the mutashabihat. Mutashabihat are those parts of the Quran which are very unclear, like these haruf muqatta'at. These are separate letterings, usually at the beginning of the surah. Now, and between them there's a whole spectrum. So there you have mufassir, and you have nas and various other things, zahir and various other things. So the ulama, they divide the clarity of the meaning of words in the Quran on this basis. Now that's a whole different subject which falls into usul al-fiqh and ulum al-Quran and so on. But anyway, the main thing to take from here is that the whole point of this few verses is that it's to get you prepared, that you can gain so much in terms of intellectual stimulation from the Quran. Okay? The Quran is a kitab of intellectual stimulation. It's also a kitab of spiritual stimulation. So it does both those things. So when we look at the message or the mission of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when we look at the mission of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's mission was not just to recite the Quran to us, but it was also to purify us. So the message of Deen is very, very essential in the sense that it's not just about gaining information and knowledge. Knowledge to us is not how people perceive knowledge in the world that we live in today, the Western world. Their understanding of knowledge is about information gathering. Gathering information, analyzing information, and coming to some kind of conclusion. That's not what knowledge is to us. As Muslims, knowledge is, it has to be nafi'. It has to be something of great benefit. If it has no benefit, then that is knowledge that we do not need. It has to be benefit. How do we measure something as being beneficial? It has to impact us in terms of our relationship with our Creator. Okay? How do we measure our relationship with our Creator? In terms of your actions. Your actions are a measure of your relationship with the Creator. So if somebody sits in front of you and tells you that I am a great wali of Allah, I am like this, and I'm like this, and I'm so and so, and I have such a connection, I cry for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala all through the night, etc., etc. Reality is that there are those things that he does when he's on his own, or she does when she's on her own. And there are those things that they do in zahir, in front of people. There are certain things that we see people do, like we just all read salah, so we all can see each other reading salah. Okay, so we all recognize that we are acting, our ma'al of deen are being accomplished. Okay, and we're reading our salah. That's zahir. Batin are hidden things. And the only way you can see the batin of somebody, the internal aspects of the spiritual state, is by looking at their heart. Their heart plays a very, very important role here. And the heart is not visible to us. The physical heart is, if I was to open up somebody's chest, then it is. But the spiritual heart is not visible to anyone except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you do not know the intention behind anyone other than what they demonstrate outwardly. So we cannot be judged of people's intentions. All we can do, in essence, is to accept them as brothers of deen and sisters of deen, and also to give them those rights and obligations that we need to give them. That's a separate topic. Now, the first thing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does here, and this is a test of your iman, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابِ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala begins, look, I've given you ambiguous concepts. First of all, I gave you alif, lam, mim. Then I give you ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ. I'm not saying this kitab, I'm saying that kitab, literally, in the literal sense, but that it transmits in its understanding as referring to this kitab. And there are differences why people say that it's making that reference. That's beyond the topic today. La rayba fi. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says there's no doubt in this. So if I was to come to you and say a couple of things that you just do not even understand or comprehend whatsoever, and then I was to say to you, by the way, there's no doubt in this, you think, what's he talking about? I've never even grasped even the basics of what this person is saying. And now you're telling me not to have any doubt in this whatsoever. This is a test of iman. The first test of iman is that even if I was to give you something that you cannot even comprehend, yeah, the first shart, condition is you must go and start off with the Quran in such a way that you have no doubt in its dalala, meaning it's in the way how those words indicate meaning to us. No doubt in its thubut, meaning in terms of how it was transmitted to us. And this is the first key concept. Now, that's a big move. That's a big move. Alhamdulillah, we are Muslim. Many of us have grown up in families. I was talking to one Maulana, who I have a lot of respect for, and he was telling me he was at the barber's one day, and this barber was being quite irritable. So he was a non-Muslim, and initially he started off by talking to him just generally, I can see you're a Muslim, etc. I said, can I ask you a question? Why are you Muslim? And Maulana sort of got quite irritated just by the question itself. So he turned around to him and said, stop 1 second. He said, I'm a Muslim because my parents told me to become Muslim. And this individual just thought, what a crazy response. So he thought he was going to get a bit of a challenge from him, but he gave a very clear answer. I became a Muslim because my parents told me that there's a God and this Islam is the truth. So that was good enough for me. So I became a Muslim. So I grew up as a Muslim, etc., etc. As I went through Deen, there were things within Deen that I saw, I witnessed, and I understood, and it had a certain impact on me. That now I have complete conviction that this is the truth. You see? So, if you are born a Muslim, just consider this as the greatest blessing. That you don't even have to grow through this journey. That you just take it on the basis that your parents tell you this is the truth. So that's a great blessing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us. And these verses don't just make reference to people like us who are born Muslim, but it makes a reference to all sorts of people who have come into Islam and etc. So it encompasses everyone. So look at it from that perspective as well.